Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Now, a lot of you all kind of took out of proportions what I was saying about rainy day funds. I think I said what I did wrong, and I'm going to just be honest about it. That was on me. But what I was saying with rainy day funds, I was mad. Like sometimes when you have a rainy day fund, the first rainy day happens and it takes the whole fund. And people are telling you to save save more. Sometimes you can have, like some people are telling me they got $50,000 to $100,000 saved, and sometimes the first rainy day takes the whole 50,000 or 100,000, and you left with nothing. It sounds like you have an alternative. This fund is amazing, but sometimes your backup plan gets taken out first. And sometimes when you have these credit cards, they come in handy. People look at you like you crazy for having a credit card. People look at you like you're, oh, you just putting yourself in debt. I just use cash. Cash can't always, pay for things because you don't have enough on hand to pay for things. A $10,000 roof, a $5,000 furnace, or a $5,000 water heater. Then you got the sub pump go out and you got to get that fixed. Your basement flood, or just shit that happens with your car, or any damn thing with your health. It's not always covered by your health insurance, or medication that ain't covered by your health insurance. Bro, you can get taken out anytime. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you not to have a rainy day fund. Have one, but sometimes what I was saying is people only make enough to pay their damn bills. And this is what I have seen in this economy right now. A lot of people out here making just enough to pay their bills. I once said you don't need a cell phone. That's a damn lie. You really need a cell phone out here. I looked, they done took all the pay phones away. Anything that you could have used to come up here with, they done found a way to take that away. Now all you got is these cell phones. I said, hey, maybe you can get a burner, or a government phone. But they found a way to block certain things on that you can't really use. So you're stuck. You're stuck paying high ass bills. Bro, you stuck sitting here trying to figure out how you're gonna live. You stuck sitting here wondering, why is this even happening to me? If you can put up $1 a pay period, or $5 a pay period, you doing something. And I'm serious. I know you sitting here saying that don't sound like a lot of money, but it's more than having nothing. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the rainy day might need for you to have a bus card that you don't have money for. And that rainy day can cover that. Dude, you never know what it is. A tank of gas, food, for the week, for the house or something. It's real out here, man. Jobs are being laid off. I mean, they're laying off people at jobs. Mass layoffs are happening. Warehouse jobs are disappearing because of, robots. And, the call centers are replaced by AI in most places. So you sitting here thinking to yourself, all these jobs. Then you got McDonald's, your Targets, your Walmarts laying people off. Fancy words for saying you're fired, but laid off means that you can come back at a later date. Fired means you're no longer able to apply. So when we look at all of this stuff and, we play it back, and try to make it make sense to ourselves, we don't look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we're going through a lot of stuff in this country. And I think a lot of people don't understand, I keep hearing people say survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest. Some people don't need to survive. Everybody needs to survive. Everybody needs to live. Everybody needs a way to actually participate in a society. You have the poor, you have the middle class, and you have the rich. They're trying to get rid of the middle class, but it's still sticking around. But, the poor job is to actually, do the work. Middle class to buy a whole lot of shit that they can't afford, that they got to pay back at a later date. And the rich is just to reap the reward and keep inventing the shit that we need to buy and to do. It's real how all this stuff works, bro. At each step, we are being manipulated. But, at the same time, you got to find a way to level up yourself, man. And, if the job you got you don't like, don't quit. Just work until the wheels fall off. Find a way to get you something else on the side, man. I understand a lot of people don't want to work more than one job, man. You just living your life to work. But you know what? It's the alternative that you face. Living just to survive ain't good. And I learned that a long time ago. And I talked to that with people, man, for years. I have worked a second job. At one time, I let a second job go because shit, I was tired. I didn't need it anymore. I just stopped. And my thing is, man, you got to make sure that you are on the up and up, that you are understanding everything that's happening, that you are looking with eager eyes at opportunities that you can use to your advantage to make money. I'm talking about legal stuff. Shit, you out there cutting grass, you out there, starting, a delivery service where you dropping people groceries and stuff off to them, doing stuff, man, just real stuff. Real stuff that make a lot of sense. See, a lot of people don't pay attention. And this is what you got to do. You got to pay attention to what's going on. With all of our utilities and things like that going up, our car insurance, the gas in our cars, if you rent, the rent's going up because of property taxes and other things that they face, or just because they want to do an increase. And most of the time, your mortgage is going up because of property tax and insurance. And the tariffs are hitting, pretty soon. And you're looking at the fact that a lot of truckers are being laid off. A lot of teachers are quitting. A lot of healthcare workers are quitting. Dude, the jobs in most cases now are sucking. And people don't know where to get help from. And the thing that I look at, a lot of people don't understand. I was one of those people, my sister's a teacher, one of my sisters is a mental health care worker, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I said, teachers make too much of money. She sat me down and talked to me, and she told me, she said, we don't make that much of money. Think about it. Look at all these kids out here. How many of these kids come to school to go to school? Or are their parents just sending them to school just to get them at the damn house so they don't have to be bothered with them for, 6-7 hours? Think about it. These kids are unbehaved, bad, horrible. They come in, they steal your personal property. They're in there about to fight you. In some cases, these kids are fighting you, and you got to fight back. And their parents coming up saying, you put your hands on my kid, but nobody saying that your kids was putting their hands on me. Do I supposed to take a hit? No. You supposed to whoop these kids' ass. And see, that's the point that I'm looking at. You're being basically not supported, by the higher-ups, because they're looking at you like, oh, you supposed to know how to deal with this. You can't always deal with it. You got these special need kids out here that need a lot of attention from their teachers. And, sometimes, you can take them to the bathroom. They run out the bathroom butt naked, running around the school and stuff. You trying to chase them and get them back in order, or, the kids in there fighting you, or, and these kids are big, they trying to break your arm, or they done punched you, damn near knocked the wind out of you, they just going crazy, having a full meltdown, picking up knives and scissors, trying to hurt you. Dude, it's crazy. The shit I hear, man, is just making me, just say, damn, where are we going as a society? Then you looking on top that you got a lot of teachers buying kids clothes. I don't give a damn what community you in, what color you are, what gender the kid is. I see in a lot of different areas where the teachers are buying kids clothes, shoes, not name brand shit, but the kids, are destitute basically. And, the parents don't give a shit. Parents doing whatever they doing. And, you think the parents would help, rein the kid in? Hell, they don't want to be bothered anymore. And they getting mad because teachers are quitting. They're quitting because they don't want to deal with that shit anymore. Dude, if you got to go to school every damn day to work, and it's like, shit, you don't know the outcome or whatever else, man, you going to throw the towel in your damn self. Look at the healthcare workers, man. It's damn near 15 patients to one damn nurse, and you sitting here like, this is crazy as hell. I'm just exaggerating on the nurse part, but I'm just saying, dude, it's so disproportionate, man, that it's crazy as hell out here, man. You got cops quitting. You got, because that shit is kind of out of hand, crime is through the roof right now, bro. It's real out here. The police response is not as big as it used to be anymore because shit, they even scared. It's wild out here right now, bro. It's like the wild, wild west. And it's just not in the U.S. People always make it seem like everything that happened is just happening in the U.S. It's happening all over the damn world. Uproar, that unrest. People just angry. People frustrated. People fed up with living with nothing. Now, they out there, marching and every damn thing, In every other country, the shit that happened here, people be out in the streets rallying. But here in this country, we just take the shit. Man, they go up on gas somewhere in Paris, the motherfuckers out there fighting and everything. They all in the street going crazy. Just any damn thing. In other countries, you do this and that, they going crazy. Here, we don't do shit. We just be like, okay, we gonna take it. Y'all going up on this, all gas $80 a gallon now, yeah. You sitting here like, what? Like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna just be walking. Look, I'm gonna have to spend a night down here, shit. It is what it is. You got people right now who are unable to afford apartments, bro. They are living in their damn car. They're living in tents. Come on now. And you telling me that there is a bigger picture here? There's something that I'm missing? Dude, I ain't missing any damn thing. I think I'm speaking fact. I believe right now we are experiencing some shit that we never really experienced. We seen shit that we're not experiencing before. Even if you own the land, you can't put a tiny house on it because it got wheels. It got to be a stationary house on it for they can charge you for every damn thing. They tried to build a tiny house community. Man, do you know the government was cracking down on that shit so hard? There was one fight in the community. They tried to shut the fucker down. How does that work? If there's one fight in a regular neighborhood, do we try to shut the whole neighborhood down? No, we don't. The thing is, you don't see the benefit because you're not making a hell of a lot of money. Think about it. All of these programs that supposed to, help stop the homeless, dude, they keeping the homeless going because they realize if I stop the homeless, that means I no longer have a job. All they doing is putting a Band-Aid on something that you can't put a Band-Aid. You can't put no damn Band-Aid on a broken arm. That ain't gonna do shit. You can't put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. That ain't no help none. Shit, either you gotta remove the bullet. If there's the bullet that went straight through, you gotta wrap this damn thing up until you get to the doctor so they can sew you up. Bro, I'm trying to figure out what is really going on here. They're not set up. This whole situation is not set up for us to win. You're gonna lose somewhere. But I'm saying make sure you cover your ass. Don't worry about any damn body else's. I hear people tell me, man, see, you live in Chicago. That's where the problem is. Now, Chicago, the money's there. But it's just everything else with it. People say, well, move to the suburbs. Hell, it's just expensive. Why would I move somewhere where I'm paying more at? Then I got to pay more as far as transportation. That means I have to drive my car, to work or drive to a metro station where I'm paying way more. And now I'm adding gas on top of that. That's crazy as hell. Dude, it's like sometimes you are scheduled to lose, and that's just the way it is. But you got to find cheat codes. And this is what I've been explaining to people. All those people that have been filing food stamps and shit like that, oh boy, they getting hit with fraud cases real hard. All that squatting people doing on your property, and people say, well, those people deserve. No, they don't. Dude, just imagine if you own a property and you trying to sell it, you inherited it from your mom or your dad or something, or your uncle, and you trying to sell it. You got people squatting on your damn property. You can't make no money. These people not trying to leave. Oh, we got legal rights here. No, they starting the law on that shit. They making sure your ass is gone. See, people been doing that for years, man. Getting over. They stopping that shit. No more getting over. And I do like the way how they doing it. They cutting out shit that people been taking advantage of. They not cutting it out all the way. They making sure you qualify. I see people out there getting Section 8 and HUD, man. They got good-ass jobs. They getting food stamps. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, what the hell really going on? And I'm just trying to really comprehend this. I've been looking at everything that I've been doing, man, trying to make it make sense, man. I don't know everything that's going on. I don't have a plan for everything. The only thing I know is what I can do. If you want to make change, the first person you need to change is your damn self. Don't worry about everybody else. Don't worry about the rest of the world. Change your living situation. If you could change your situation by adding or infusing money into it, that's a good thing. That's a good way to go. I was talking to this guy at my job. He was like, man, all I need is an extra $200 a month. And I said, well, this place down here is higher. No, man, all I need is just an extra $200 a month. I'm like, I don't know where you're going with this. I said, is somebody going to give them an extra $200 a month? Something that I don't know about. But see, a lot of people don't want to work for the money. They just want the money. Dude, that ain't how life works. You can want all you want. Shit, the world don't want it. They tired. They looking at you like, man, maybe you a burden. No, I'm looking at it just like this. Shit, it's time for a change. And if we gonna survive, we need to push hard as we can. Because like I said, man, there's a salmonella outbreak going, and on eggs, so they trying to raise the prices of eggs again. Dude, you can keep these fucking eggs at this point in time. Dude, a lot of things that I'm looking at right now, I'm just like, I'm okay with, man. I'm looking at Salvation Army trucks pass me by. I'm looking at people talk to me about just everything, man, and their frustration with everything, man, and I get it. Brand new car costs them near $40,000, and they're getting rid of cars anyway. They trying to go the route of the SUV. SUVs are expensive. Small utility vehicle, man. But I'm sitting here thinking, you get rid of cars, man. Dude, it's never good just to have all of one thing. And I've been looking at people when I used to go past this place, and I'd be going past these cannabis dispensary stores, and me and my wife, we were somewhere everywhere yesterday rather, and there were like, damn near, we seen like 5 or 6 of them. And she said, well, they ask for your ID in there and stuff like that. And she said, what's the difference between that and going to the dope dealer? I said, well, the dope dealer don't charge you tax and they don't ask you to see your ID. What they doing is they are cataloging you and seeing how often you come here to this dispensary. And you know what? They tracking your behavioral patterns, man. They doing all that. You think they just asking to see your ID just to hold on to it? Dude, you giving them free data. They tracking your ass. And you know what? They should. They've been tracking shit for the longest. These real IDs got chips inside of them. Pretty soon they're about to do away with cash, bro. Pretty soon you just don't have a brain implant, whereas your money is automatically downloaded from somewhere into your damn head. 5G shit, you 6G already. All that mercury and all those other metals they put into your damn system, your ass is a walking antenna. But we don't see none of that. We don't understand none of that. We think that this society is made for us. No, it's made to keep you in prison, bro. Your social security number is actually a banking account. And your birth, in your birth year, your birth, numbers and all of that is the routing number. They've been doing this shit to you for years. There are accounts in your name that you know shit about. Millions of dollars. You don't know nothing about. This country is a corporation. And you are its product. You are born into servitude. Your foot is put onto that birth certificate as a sign of bondage, man. Your parents sold you into this situation. It is what it is. But my thing is, you don't have to conform to everything that you see. You can come out of this your damn self. You can live. You can be. You can become better. You can live the way you want to. You can understand everything, man. This life is what it is, man. And it continues to get, weirder and weirder. Stronger and stronger sometimes. And sometimes, man, we just doing what we doing. Sometimes, you barely surviving. But you know what? You have no ill will towards anybody that got some money. You just sitting here thinking to yourself, man, I wonder what it's like to be rich. And they, don't wish for that, man. That's the worst thing. No, you can wish for what the hell you want to. Whether if you ready to suffer the consequences, that's your business. But shit, Don't ever stop dreaming or thinking, like, man, I want more for myself. That's okay to want more. This is why I'm telling you, get out there and get it. It's not hard to do, man. Just find a way. It'll be all right. But to later, fam, I want to say, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for listening, because there's so many other things you could be doing. I appreciate you, man. But to later, peace out.